Hello.
Hello.
Aaron, are you okay? Are you okay?
Yes, it's fine.
Are you sure?
Maybe, I don't know.
Okay.
We'll find out here.
Fair.
All right. Hello.
Hello.
What's going on?
Not a lot. Ate
Not-
some pizza. Hooray. And I don't have to go to work tomorrow because it's now Christmas break.
Oh, freaking jerk.
Nice.
It's fine.
Aaron has to work tomorrow, but it's dumb. I work tomorrow, and then I get like 2 days off, and then I have to go back to work. So I'm like, why do we have to work tomorrow? Can we just not work tomorrow? But
I mean, that's a fair question, I suppose, but, you know.
it's like whenever we, like in high school, we'd have like a break or something, and then we'd come back on like a Friday. That's like, what's the point? Like, why am I here?
Yeah, they don't really do that anymore because that's a terrible idea.
Yeah, and so that's what I kind of feel like what's going on for this.
True. I do feel bad, kind of, because I have a giant mess in half of my classroom.
Oh no.
Well, not mess per se, but they always try to like come and sweep the floors and clean the floors up all nice and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a giant section of my classroom devoted to rock samples currently.
Oh,
So-
right. Right. The
So I left a
rocks.
note. I was like, I'm sorry. Just ignore everything behind this table.
Don't-
pay
Does not
no
exist.
attention to the man behind the curtain.
Yeah,
To-
right. It's like,
To the
oh no.
rocks behind the table.
Yeah.
Aw.
Whoopsie.
Hmm.
So I think it'll be fine. She might not be too happy with me, but you know,
But I mean,
it's for science, so it's fine.
It's all on a tarp, though, right?
Well, it's on a piece of big, like that butcher paper stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's on that.
But yeah,
So like
too
I
bad.
put
It's not
it
too
on a
bad.
thing. That way I could write on it. So I have all the people who whatever groups it belongs to.
The group data. Yeah.
Guys wrote their names on it so that they could remember where theirs were.
Nice.
So, you know, but she might be a little distressed with me because there's a huge portion of my classroom. Not huge. Well, it's large. It's about 8 feet long.
Okay. Proportionally, though, how much is it taking up compared to the rest of the room?
I mean, not very much. My room's quite long, so like it's fine. It's totally fine.
Do you have carpet or do you have tile in your room?
Tile.
Oh, so that's not too
Oh,
bad.
Fine. Yeah. See, it's okay. And then I swept up a bunch of it. It got off. You know, so it's fine.
Yeah. See, they're worried about nothing.
Yeah. So, yeah. We didn't get quite done because of all the other weird goings on that was happening like the last week because we didn't have school Monday and Tuesday because of all the snow. Well, not snow. Well, it was icy down here. And so that got us like we didn't get quite done with all that stuff. So we just, you know, we're like, okay, we have time out. We made observations and stuff.
Mhm.
We recorded observations about we cleaned them up and did like sample recordings like, oh, hey, it's got this color and I can see that this one has fossils and this one has some layering and stuff like that. So we can come back and have something to look at when we come back. But to remind ourselves what on earth we were doing. But in the
Well, that's
meantime,
nice.
it's all on the floor.
Ta-da.
I gotcha. Neat.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's all I was doing last week. Was that breaking rocks open with a hammer. I found a hammer in my closet. I was like, ooh, hello.
Did you happen to hide it in a Bible?
I did not. No. And I
Ah.
had that the other way around. I had a chisel and I had to borrow a hammer.
Ah.
That's what happened. I had to run
Oh.
down to the custodian guy and be like, hey, I need a hammer. So I just grabbed yeah, he had like an old one, like right. He's like the ones that he uses all the time, and he has like the other ones. So I took one of the other ones.
Oh.
And I made a
Okay.
thing. I put some carpet squares down, and I took like a lid turn the lid over and so it would catch all the debris that flew everywhere when I was whacking it with a hammer. Put our goggles on, and we're ready to go. Bam. Anytime you pull out the goggles, kids know it's getting real. So they're like, oh, okay, now it's serious time.
Well, good. Glad the kids enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they seem to be into it, so we'll see.
So you're pretty much just looking at what rocks are in the area, or just...
Yeah, we're trying to tie in. So we're at the final point of the geology unit, which I discussed before was like this huge long thing. But the end part is the rock cycle and stuff, right? So we are tying that into Missouri geology as we're going. So we are gonna I try to identify what type of rocks we can find here, right? Some of them are, mostly it's going to be limestone, some sandstone. We did find a pretty beautiful piece of conglomerate, though. I'm not going to lie. But just that kind of basic stuff, just to kind of be like, hey, this is sedimentary rock. Why is there so much sedimentary rock in Missouri?
Right.
We'll kind of go into that. Like, it was a sea. Spoilerinos.
What?
It was a sea.
No.
Like pre-Pangea, we're talking sea. Was it the Mississippian, Pennsylvanian in that area, in that era?
One of those.
Sea. Boom.
Okay.
So that's what we're tying it into. Bringing it all back to that, and then we'll be done. We'll move on to whatever is next, which I don't remember. I think weather, probably, for more physical, earth sciencey things.
Yeah.
Weather.
Getting to erosion and how...
Yeah, because then we'll have some, like, things to look back on. Hey, remember when we saw that erosion outside when we went there? Remember that? Boom.
Remember that thing? Yeah.
Yeah. And then we can go back and look at our little river things outside, our little creek area, and check out all that. We did find some sweet sediment, right? When we were out digging, I was like, look at this sediment in this little... Because there's a little creek thingy that runs. It's like basically a headwater area. So it's not always flowing, but it's like the drainage. And you can definitely see where it goes down to, like, it ends up in Little Flat Creek eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But we were walking down there. One of my groups was digging out by that. And so
nice.
I was like, oh, look at all this exciting sediment that we've discovered. And a couple of them were like, yeah, exciting. Right. Like
that's one word for it.
I thought it was cool. So I'm gonna have to go back and get some in like a little sample jar or something so we can have it. But yeah, that's about it.
Nice.
Yeah. So not too exciting, but mostly the snow days / ice days sort of threw a damper into the plans of the last week of school. So it was like, what are we gonna do now? I've got 2.5 days really. So
Yeah, I'm sure that was kind of weird to come back and just feel like you were making up time.
Yeah. So we found things to do. It's all right. But have you had to go? What have you been doing with your stuff? Anything exciting? You haven't gone to hunt hogs, I see. So this is good.
No, we haven't had to do that yet. Although, oh man, I can read you off some of the job titles.
Oh no,
it's real.
I don't
bad.
know if I'm ready for this.
It's real bad. I don't know if this is allowed by the department, but this is pretty funny. Let me see where these are.
Does it say confidential? Do not disseminate.
No. Okay.
See,
So
it's fine then. It's got to be okay.
I don't know if
Did you sign some sort of like NDA, right? Like,
I don't know if that's how that works or not. Anyway,
it's got to be legal.
So
It's
below
a
is a
government agency. It's available information.
Below is a brief description of the knowledge, skills, and abilities and duties needed by participating staff. First job, scouter slash baiter slash trapper. 100 position.
Oh no.
100. This knowledge, skills, and abilities. Ability to remember. Let's everybody just take a moment and remember where this is going to be happening. Mark Twain National Forest. Okay, we've all been there in the Ozarks. It's not exactly flat terrain. It's not exactly easy terrain to run a transect through.
Not easy to run anything through.
Especially remembering that this is going to be winter and summer. So starting January 15th. Ready for this?
Oh no.
Ability to walk up to 5 miles per day in steep terrain, safely operate a 4x4 truck with trailer, safely operate ATV/UTV, operate GPS, use topo maps and aerial photos to navigate, keep accurate records, lift and carry 70 pounds, work long hours in adverse weather conditions. Your duties: scout 2,000 acres per week, establish and monitor.
Oh, what?
That's your job duty, is to scout 2,000 acres.
Oh.
Establish and monitor bait sites, record and map feral hog occupancy and numbers, set up traps, dispatch hogs, and dispose of carcasses. A couple things on this. I get tired walking up the stairs carrying my 2 children, and yet I'm somehow going to be expected to carry 70 pounds and walk 5 miles in Mark Twain National Forest.
That's not a feat that many people are going to just be able to do.
Yeah, that's the.
Especially 70 pounds. What are you carrying that's 70 pounds?
I don't know if the 70 pounds is a pack of like bait and cameras and your gun and
I mean, it almost has
your
to
food
be.
and water, or if it's going to be a one-time thing of loading and unloading the trailer with its supplies and stuff. I don't know.
That would be better, but traipsing around in a wood with 70 pounds of gear all day, no.
But
that sounds terrible.
There are 2 people groups in the department that are already fit for this. Those are the nationally certified foresters who go out and fight wildfires in
what they do anyway.
northern Alaska.
Yeah.
And then there are the conservation agents who have to maintain a certain level of physical fitness. The rest of us, it's just kind of optional. How much you want to work out. So I don't know how that's going to work. That's going to be fun though. 5 miles a day in the middle of the Mark Twain National Forest. I don't know how what happens if you get lost.
I mean, when you get lost.
When you get lost.
Yeah. I am having a hard time thinking 2 things. I don't know if this is going to be worse in January or July.
So my only thing is that the tick prevalence is probably going to be much lower in January. However, snow and ice probably very likely.
Yeah.
In January,
especially in the northern parts of the Mark Twain National Forest, up in where
way up there.
So, and this is
or it always randomly snows either in like northern Missouri or like northern Arkansas.
Yeah.
Like the very like the southern border Missouri where it's very foresty. So that's where the hogs are too. That's exciting.
Exactly. So that's where I'm trying to judge of like, do I sign up? Do I attempt to go for a position in the winter because at least it'll be cooler and I'm hiking, but then it's like
because we know once it gets March, it's just going to rain.
It's just going to rain and it's going to be humid and it's going to be hot and it's going to be.
Secondary question, not as serious. I need someone to explain to me the difference between an ATV and a UTV. I don't know what that is because your thing said that, and I don't know what that means.
UTV, all-terrain vehicle versus a utility task vehicle. What?
Does it mean it has doors?
So
Oh,
an
is
ATV
it-
is a four-wheeler. A
Yeah.
UTV is like the side-by-side riding
Oh, like
buggy.
Like the gate. Like a gator almost.
Yeah.
Or whatever those other things are with they have
Yes.
tailgates
Yes.
and they look weird. They look like golf carts, but like on steroids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those kind of things.
Okay.
Look at
Thank you.
us, figuring things out. Thanks, Google.
So like, do you have to sign up for each, or do they literally be like, hey, you're going to go do this?
Well,
Oh,
so
that's a
here,
good question.
so here's the thing: is feral hogs is going on the same time as CWD. So if you're not involved with CWD, basically, if you've already signed up and you're heavily involved with CWD, you have to sign up and be involved in feral hog stuff. So, so it's not really optional
Yeah.
at that point. So
Also, I know that was just the first job on the list, but do you get to like sign up for a job or
Also-
just a rotation?
so
And they
also
just give you one.
Also, good question, because I'm unsure, because some of these that I'll get to are going to require certain like things that need to be vetted that you can do, and so
I'm curious.
I don't know if it's like you apply for something, but you like I volunteer to, but I want to apply for these 4 or 5 positions. And then you get selected for one. I don't know how that's going to work because some of these just can't be anybody can sign up for.
Okay, I
That's,
got you.
right. So
Well,
that's,
I guess we'll see in
yeah.
a minute. Also,
Okay.
I'm really trying very hard to steer clear from the obvious joke about the baiter. So let's just move on.
Anyway, yeah. So my other thing is about that position is it says dispatch hogs, and you dispatch hogs with a gun.
Call them? Oh,
What? Yeah.
I thought you meant like
at
an
the
operator.
switchboard.
You were switchboard operator. You plug in the little thing.
Oh, I thought
like
we were talking about University of Arkansas called hogs.
Yep. See? So
that's what you do.
I can't do that. And so
Sorry,
maroon.
Yeah.
And you just wave your little hog. You do your hog call, and they come running at you.
I think the closer you get to the Arkansas border, the more maroon that you have to wear at that point.
I think it's true.
And we'll probably get hooked up with some of them about the SUI call, all that fun stuff.
True.
Okay, we'll keep this.
Is that a conflict of interest? The Missouri Department of Conservation wearing University of Arkansas apparel?
I think it's supposed to help you hunt the hogs better.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So as long as it's
whatever we can do
Yes.
to help hunt them.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's a coordinated effort. All
yes.
right.
Second position,
love
crew leader, 50 positions. Your knowledge, skills, and abilities. Organizational skills, team leadership skills, presentation skills, knowledge of GPS/GIS, ability to learn all facets of hog trapping and teach others. Sounds like that kind of ability to troubleshoot equipment problems and repair and replace as necessary. Safety conscious, ability to meet short deadlines, ability to evaluate performance, supervise, and motivate team members. Anyway, okay, I'll read through this and then we'll do commentary. Duties. Okay. Stationed at lodging facility, support and supervise staff, provide staff orientation, serve as equipment technician, provide equipment to staff, inventory, repair, etc., compile data from daily scouting and kill reports, download GPS, store information for transfer to data manager, provide for quality control, serve as on-site safety officer, and serve as lodging facility manager.
So hang out in a hotel room, use a hammer, and have a hard hat.
You're
Got it.
You're going to be a dorm mom.
Right. You're an RA.
You're an RA. You're also the repair guy, and you're the first aid officer. And just that job is also going to suck because
let's be honest, none of these are going to be good.
None of these are going to be fun. None of these. Someone's going to go, "Oh, I want to be a leader." The one thing that put this into that really stuck out to me was ability to meet short deadlines. I don't want that on my case.
No.
If they like have all of this stuff to me in 3 hours, like that's not fun.
That doesn't sound fun.
Yeah. Okay. So that requires 50 positions. Now, the next one, the GIS/map specialist, 4 positions. Skilled with ArcMap. Duties: create and update maps of all territories, documenting areas scouted, hogs killed, etc. This is the job that I would love.
That's gonna go to all the forestry dudes that already do that job anyway.
Yes, exactly.
That just have like all they do is look at and update maps all day. They're gonna be like, hey, you do that because this is what you do. I'm like, okay.
Well, yeah, right. So there's only 4 of those for the entire state for this entire thing. So
Yeah,
like,
Jeez.
those are gonna get snapped up fast. But what I'm saying is, can anybody volunteer for that? Are they going to be like, okay, fine, you signed up for that, we'll teach you how to use GIS? Or are they going to go, this person doesn't really have any GIS skills?
Yeah.
So
They're gonna go, this person already does that. So
that's what
boom.
that's what's going to be most unfortunate. The second one is kind of like this. It's the data manager. So there were 2 of those positions.
That sounds terrible.
You have to have access to a collector app, which is something we can go into later. Knowledge of Excel. Woo. Duties: enter hog kills into the app, create and update a spreadsheet of acreage scouted, occupancy, number of hogs seen, number of hogs killed, etc. You're like the data manager.
Data, collator. You'd be
data
like
monkey.
Penelope on Criminal Minds, right? You just sit and people call you, and then you just enter all the stuff in the computer, and then you'd be like, oh hey, no one scouted this region yet. Go over there.
Exactly. Right.
And
That's
then
what you
they go.
Now the plus from those previous 2 positions, the GIS and then the data manager, is you don't have to
Go
anywhere. Exactly. As a matter of fact, I am 100% confident that they would let you do that from your home, which is why I want to do this job so bad.
Yeah, that would. I mean, yeah, you just like have access to a spreadsheet. Okay.
Right. Yeah, and just update it throughout the day. I'll do that from my house. Ta-da. So that's why I kind of want those. Anyway.
No, see, Colin, you're doing it all wrong. You have to hope for the field jobs, and then because they'll be like, oh, this person wants the field job, let's get them the office job, and then when you get it, you have to be like, oh no, I got the office job. Oh, fiddle.
No,
Boom.
I'm not
reverse
playing.
psychology.
I'm not playing. Nope. I'm going for what I want.
I don't know if that works with state organizations.
Nah, that's fine.
They don't.
Other situations, you are exactly correct. That does that sometimes, but because if you say things like I don't want that, they're like, you have that now.
Boom.
Yeah. But I think with state jobs, that's no. They're like, okay, here.
You must go for what you want, otherwise it slips.
Yeah.
And then I have been saving the best job for last. Now, again, it's very rare. There are only 3 positions of these. Truck driver for hauling corn. Your KSAs: haul with a vehicle. Your duties: haul corn to storage locations from the grain elevator.
Wow. All right. That's a job.
So you go from anywhere.
You
from
just drive a truck around?
Yes.
Yes.
So
yeah, but no, it's not gonna be like a truck. It's gonna be like a truck. Because if you're getting a grain elevator, you're gonna need some sort of like CDL class license to operate whatever vehicle they're going to make you drive about. You're not gonna get to drive a transit van. You're gonna get to drive some sort of terrible, like old 18-wheeler. It'll be some really old one. It'll be from 1987 and it won't work all the way.
I have seen the Top Gear on truck drivers. I think I know how to do this.
I once rode in one.
See?
That's all I got. I didn't ride very far, but I rode in one. There we go.
So, anyway, those are the 4 positions or 5 positions.
I also once replaced a fuel pump on one, in a diesel one. Yeah,
Why'd
because it broke. When I was working at the sawmill, the thing broke, and so we had to go like super fix this one because it got there was a hole in the fuel line, so it got air in the fuel line in a diesel, which is like the worst thing ever. And so it stopped pumping, and so we had to go fix it. There you go. That's my 18-wheeler story. Okay, continue.
I don't have anyway. That's more experience than I have with them at all. So that's they said so. Granted, like it is now. Okay, we're gonna take a step out of the timeline for all of our listeners here. It isn't like it's December 22nd, right? It's December. The operations are supposed to start January 15th. That's boots on the ground. No no sign up has been sent out. No training, anything has been made available.
Excellent.
And I'm like, this is amazing. Oh, but the thing was, they did confirm that you would be 1 week on call, on duty, doing whatever these jobs that you're doing, 2 weeks off, and then you repeat that 5 times.
Oh, what?
Wait, say that one more time.
So let's say tomorrow I start. I would work possibly 7 days in a row doing one of those
definitely.
jobs.
It was definitely 7 days in a row.
7 days. Then they give you 2 weeks off, but the 2 weeks aren't really off. The
it's
2 weeks
back to your normal
just
job,
go back
right?
to your normal job. So you try and pick up wherever you left off, and then you have to shut everything down after those 2 weeks, and then you go back to working the 7 days for whatever job that you're on right now. And then you get 2 weeks back to your normal job, and then 1 week hog hunting, and then 2 weeks normal job, and then 1 week hog hunting for 5 times. You repeat that. 1 week hog hunting, 2 weeks back to your normal job. And
what happened after the 5 times?
So they're starting now because they're trying to get to it before the next hunting season, and then they're going to stop, I think, and then
for spring turkey season.
Yeah, and then they'll start back up next spring. Yeah, in the summer, and then they'll go in the spring, something like that. I'm not sure how this is going to work out.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking like, if you do that, that's what you do that 5 times. That's 15 weeks.
Yeah.
So that's only what? That's not even 4 months.
Right.
So what happens in April?
Well,
like,
then
once you get to the end of the cycle, like, is there like a because that's not enough. I'm assuming that is not enough positions to cover everybody in the state of Missouri. Yeah.
It's no.
So like what? Let's pretend you get picked for the first round. How long until you get picked again?
Yes. So this is the question. That is a very good question. And we are thinking that if you get stuck in a crew leader in a GIS or data manager position, you are that forever. If you get the crew,
that's true.
Leader, if you get the crew leader, you're more likely to be on an every other cycle kind of thing. Yeah. The worst possible scenario would be is if you sign up for this, you just get stuck with it and you do spring, summer culling, spring, summer, spring, summer, spring, summer, spring, summer.
Oh, yeah.
Forever. Like that'd be the worst.
That's true.
Because we don't think that they would have a whole separate crew for summer. All new crew leaders, all new GIS, all new that. They might.
That would make sense, but then that would make sense that you would get like, okay, you're the spring people, you're the January through March people, you're the whatever. If they stop during, I don't remember when turkey season is.
I don't. Yeah.
But it's over by May, right? So you're the May through July people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You're the August through the beginning of October, which is when deer starts. I think.
Well, so they wouldn't be hunting. We would not be doing it in the winter, because winter is CWD stuff.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So,
well, I mean, up until like you could split the summer up from whenever until whenever it is the deer season. I don't know when deer season begins.
Yeah,
it's fallish, I guess. I don't know, but like, because. Gunning season was what, the beginning of October or November?
October. Well, it depends because there's like youth and then there's black powder.
Yeah, but you would stop it at the beginning of whatever that is.
Yeah, right? Whatever the earliest.
Don't they do bow? Isn't there a bow first?
There's a bow. Yeah.
Yes.
And then there's like a black powder and youth. So we'll just say October.
Yeah. So Yeah, it's a logistic nightmare and a continuity nightmare if you start having 2, 3 separate teams that you have on rotation. So, and then again, managing the whole CWD thing is a whole separate incident command structure as opposed to feral hog. So, yeah, it gets complicated real fast.
Huh.
Good thing to have a solid plan.
Oh no!
So how long were they wanting to do this?
Forever.
Oh, okay.
That's a nice attainable goal. Just forever.
Just do it. Yeah.
Until they all run away to Illinois.
Exactly. Oh darn. To join their brethren up there. Yeah.
That is a bit of a problem. With no like end date in mind, it's hard to sort of schedule things like this to be effective, right? When you just have like 2 question mark, right? Even like a, not to sound too Stalinist here, but some sort of 5-year plan would be useful in this, right? Just to say for the first X years, we'll just say 5 years because I already did. This is the plan to be reevaluated at the end of 5 years. I mean, this is what Stalin did. And now I'm not saying that we should base our lives on Joseph Stalin. Okay, I'm not saying that.
Well, he had some pretty good ideas.
All I'm saying is maybe our mustaches, but nothing else. We should. We need to have some kind of like. Okay, for this X amount of time, we're going to do this, and then we're going to see where we are, and then we're going to reevaluate, and we're going to make a new 5-year plan.
And then murder those people that didn't make their quota.
That's not. See, that's why I said
no.
Not the Stalin thing. Remember when he said that? I'm sure that in their minds,
don't think about it too much.
I'm sure that in their minds, we're just gonna be adaptive and we're just gonna change from time to time and we're just gonna, but like that's not communicated at all.
But you can't. That's not. If you're gonna set up an organizational structure, you're gonna need to. You need to bless you. You need to say like for the first 3 years, here is our plan.
Yes.
Right? Yes. And then at like 2.5 years, you sit down and you go, how has the plan been going? Right? I mean, you can do it before that, but like at 2.5 years, basically you go, okay. Because like at the end of the first year, you say, how is plan working? Okay, let's keep doing these things. And then at the like that 2.5 year mark, you're saying, okay, for the next 3 years, what are our goals and how we're going to do that?
Right? And right now, I mean, part of the problem is like nobody knows exactly what the population is, even in Missouri, and nobody knows exactly where they are and all this stuff. So I'm pretty sure just the first year is just going to be like a data gathering, like where are they, numbers estimation, all that habitat usage kind of thing, so that they can put in a better formulaic plan going forward.
So, but if nobody knows anything, why is it like the end times? Why is it like the apocalyptic thing that's happening if we don't even know?
Well, so you can see the damage that's being done without knowing. You can just say that's doing a lot, and then when someone says how many pigs are out there, we can go, we don't know, but there's a lot because they're doing X amount of damage. So just getting a rough population estimate is probably in their game plan. I mean, I haven't seen anything like that come out of, exactly that. But anyway, so I'm pretty sure it's just that first year is just going to be figuring it all out is what the first year is going to be. It's really going to suck.
Yeah.
Now, are they only having people like in Missouri Department of Conservation do this? Like, is it only internal or?
Oh yes, and there's for a couple of reasons. One, because
they're already paying them.
I'm already being paid. They're already paying us. They are self-insured. So if you bring in an outside entity, the liability has to be taken on for that person. So if you keep it in-house,
That's true.
it keeps all liability. And
Yeah, I wonder what hog goring insurance premiums are.
I'm not going to look into that.
Yeah, right.
That won't be fun. Anyway, and then the other part about it is optics that you're communicating to the citizens. If Missouri Department of Conservation, who is mandated by the Missouri Constitution to manage and take care of fish, forest and wildlife, if they start outsourcing those duties for such a big thing, that doesn't look good on the department. And the department can.
It's economic stimulation. We are creating jobs in Missouri. Right. Boom, done. Look, that. Right. Those are buzzwords people say.
But what needs to happen is so right. I mean, right now, people with bachelor's, masters, PhDs are going to be out there doing GPS points on feral hog feces. We covered this previously.
Yes.
Yeah.
What the department genuinely needs to do is they need to
hire people.
No, they need to strip all of the hourly labor away from everybody and say for right now, the hourly labor that you used to have is you no longer have that position. It's a feral hog position, and hire people fresh out of college or juniors in college and have them go out and do this. Again,
pretty sure I said that last week.
Aaron did say that last week.
I said we need to hire interns.
Yeah,
you did.
What I'm saying is to do that, to take away the hourly labor that the department is already using and generating, and because they can't just create new positions out of thin air. So, but it would require
people do it all the time. Just hire more people. Now, the funding for that is going to be the problem. So I understand what you're saying, but it is totally feasible. You can just be like, hey, we need more people. But yes, it's can we pay for them? Is the problem.
Yeah, and so anyway, but yeah, so that's genuinely what they need to do. But you can also see how if they did that, and Joe Schmo intern fresh out of college or still in college gets stopped by a hog dogger, and like that just doesn't look good politically. Of somebody, they don't care, they're just sending these kids out there to do this and blah 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 blah. That would be fresh meat for that kind of story that somebody would want to tell. So I don't envy the position, but I don't want to be hunting hogs, so that's probably another reason why I'm really not excited about this. And I just don't want to be gone. I just don't want to be gone for a week at a time. It just anyway.
Mostly that's the annoying bit, right? Like, so we'll see if in 20 some days, 23 days, they can figure it out.
Oh, I'm sure somebody whose job already said must meet short deadlines is fiercely working away right now.
No, they're not. They're already on Christmas break.
Oh,
that's how it works.
No, the people that are being tasked with this definitely do not have a Christmas break. I bet they do. Well, that's unfortunately
the higher up you are in an organization, the more break you get.
I know
that's how it works, right? Yeah. I mean, that's like Congress just goes like they can be in the middle of the most important thing ever. They're like, oh, peace out. It's Thanksgiving. Bye. And they're just like, but the law. What about the law? No. Okay. Well, so that it happens all the time. They just go. They're not. Basically, it's the exact same as when you punch that time clock. And you go, nope. I'm sorry. It's 5 o'clock now. Goodbye. They have the same sort of mentality. It's just longer, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh. So. Yeah. Yeah. That's just gets me thinking about that whole quote unquote work-life balance and just the big myth that actually is. I had somebody ask me about that today. It's like, how do you manage to have a work-life balance? I was like, first off, there's no such thing. Secondly, I purposely chose my job so that because they gave a lot of time and they were really flexible, and it was a kind of job that didn't follow me home, so that when I was home, I could be home. And anyway, it really annoys me when people talk about having that, because you're constantly, there's no such thing as balance whenever you only have a set number of hours in a day. You're always stealing from something to do what you want to do or do what you don't want to be doing, right? Like you have to invest time somewhere. It's got to come from somewhere. And I just see that as a big pitfall. It's not a 50-50 kind of thing. Anyway, Collin,
I don't know. I do all of my schoolwork at school, and that's it. I don't ever so you can say I guess when you talk about actual time investment, I think about it all the time, right? But I don't do stuff, right? I'm not bringing papers home to grade them. No, not me. No, thank you. I do it all at work. That's it. Sometimes it takes me longer, but I'm not bringing it home. So that's kind of how I see it, because I'm I'm not. I could, but no. When I'm at work, I'm working.
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything else. I am solely focused on everything that's happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I go home, I'm no, I'm not doing anything. Now I will think about it, and I'll kind of plan stuff in my head, but I'm not actively.
Sure.
It's while I'm sitting on the couch watching television. I'm oh yeah, I should do that. I gotta do this later.
Collin needs to take a hog home with him, and therefore you can classify it as Collin is working from home, or Collin is working at home.
Exactly.
So instead of watching dogs, Collin, you're going to be watching hogs for
hog sitter.
Mm-hmm.
Hog sitting.
Okay.
I like it.
You
can put it in the backyard.
Flush this out a little bit.
Yeah.
I think you can charge neighborhood children to ride it.
Kobe can keep the dog and the hog in track. Yeah. See.
Yeah. Kobe would be great at
he's such a vicious little guy.
Hunting dog there. Oh, wait a minute.
He'd be perfect for it.
You can have him. I'm sure you could design a wagon that a hog can pull, so you can, ride him about.
I can go in parades.
Do you know
that's a very excellent parade thing.
It is, being pulled by a feral hog through the street.
Do you not see the Hobbit, the Battle of the Five Armies?
That's
the
true.
dwarf rode in on a hog.
Yeah.
Billy Conley was on a hog.
Yeah, Billy Conley,
the Duke in the flesh, was on the hog. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Might not work out so well, but
it'll be fine. It'll be great.
You just tell your supervisors to listen to our podcast, and they'll be like, oh, that is a great idea. You're welcome, state of Missouri.
There you go. In my mind, I've just combined that scene from the Battle of the Five Armies with his character from Boondock Saints, and it's just so great. I'm just enjoying this right now.
See, why didn't they do that?
Firefight!
Yeah. Yes. And then Willem Dafoe is there afterwards.
What if it was one guy with 6 guns?
Come on. What are you, an idiot?
I have to add that to my to-watch list now.
I haven't watched it in a long time because I watched it a lot.
Yeah.
And then I'm just kind of no, I need to not do that now. But I think
it's not the movie you need, but it's the movie.
But consequently, I haven't seen it in a long time, so
okay.
Maybe it does need a rewatch or over break here. Sneak that in.
I will be down there Monday night, so if we need to have a little Christmas Boondock Saints.
Yes, because it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, it is.
Kind of. Speaking of things, did you guys watch the new Grand Tour?
No, I haven't had time.
I
Oh.
did.
Oh, okay.
I
Well,
did.
no spoilers for Aaron
No
then.
spoilers. Well,
No.
one spoiler. They're on boats.
Yeah, I see little things on like Instagram of them
Yeah.
like boat racing, and I'm like,
There's
I
boating.
want to watch that now more.
Okay, so you gotta. As soon as you have time, we gotta talk about that because it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have to watch it again, just
I
so
think
I'm ready.
I may have. Okay, so let's be real. I've watched it like 4 times since last week.
Oh, I
Yeah.
only watched it the once.
Oh no, it just gets better.
Have
It gets better.
you watched any of the FoodTribe stuff that's on YouTube?
No.
So it's like a spin-off of the Drive Tribe things,
No.
right? But it's like FoodTribe. Mostly, the one that you need to watch is James May cooking weird 70s food in the little kitchen thing.
Okay. FoodTribe.
So funny. He'll like make he's like, oh yes, these are like the sandwiches like my mom used to make, and it's like an egg sandwich, and it's
Okay.
just like bread and salad cream and egg. He's like, nope. That's
Okay.
it.
Okay.
And it's
so
just James May making sandwiches, and it's really funny.
Okay, so homework for next week. Homework for next week, everybody.
Watch that.
James May and FoodTribe on YouTube and Grand Tour. Okay.
Yes, I'll watch it again.
Okay.
Have you ever
Homework.
watched the Reassembler? Have you ever seen those?
No.
No.
Oh my gosh. Okay, they're on YouTube somewhere. They're from an old like BBC show, and it's called James May, the Reassembler, and it's just him putting something together.
Oh, wait
And
a
it's like
minute. Wait a minute.
it's like a record player, and one of them is like a motorcycle,
yeah.
and there's like a toy train, but it's like the record player is 100% completely disassembled, laying on a table,
yeah.
and he just goes around and talks about stuff and like puts it together, and it's so weird, and yet satisfying at like the same time. He's like, I don't know why I'm watching this. He's
Yeah.
just talking about like how this is the best screwdriver, and it's like because it's the Japanese standard screwdriver, and it's not exactly like a Phillips head screwdriver because it's got this little thing. Everyone thinks it's a Phillips head, but no, it's in fact a Japanese standard screwdriver, and that's why people's bolts get all screws get all messed up. And you're like,
Oh
what?
my gosh.
What is happening?
Nice. Okay. Yeah. No, that's it. That seems really familiar. And I think I may have seen that, but okay.
There's a few of them. I don't remember.
I think there's
There's not
looks
like
like
a whole
there's
bunch.
the 2 seasons, I think.
Maybe, but there's a few. I
Okay.
think there's one where there's like a Christmas train. So there you go. That one's for you have that one.
Do. Adding it to so much homework. Oh my gosh.
But I was thinking about that this morning or this afternoon when I was making a sandwich. I just started giggling to myself in the kitchen, and Susan was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Don't worry about it. It's fine."
Goodness. Okay.
Yes. But yes, Aaron, you will like the boating. It's very
Yeah.
beautiful.
Well, because
Yeah.
I tried to get Amazon Prime to work on my TV, but it just wouldn't. Like, and so I was gonna
just
watch
have to
it on my
it
phone, but yeah, I was sitting there trying to mess with it, and I couldn't remember like my password and stuff, and then it wouldn't let me do any of the uploads. So I was like, I'll just watch it on my phone later.
I just do it on my phone because I can't be bothered. I just for some reason it doesn't like my computer. It's like no, it's like real jumpy. Probably because it's old.
Oh.
My graphics card's like no, but like it'll like not play right. Probably because my internet sucks. But I just watch my phone. It's easier.
Yeah, it is.
I
It's
sit
a
on the
lot.
couch and watch it. Put my headphones on and watch it.
I'll
Usually
probably
because
end up-
I'm. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I'll probably end up doing that after we get done talking. I'll probably just put it on and go to
Nice.
town and watch it before I go to bed.
Yeah, because I'm lazy and I like recline my couch and then I like put a book on the little arm thing and just like set my phone on that so it props it up right and I go, yep, there we go, I'm dead.
Nice.
And I just leave it that way, so I don't have to hold it or anything like that. And it's like,
Oh. Holding it. Oh, geez, could you even imagine that?
yeah, you want to hold your phone for an hour? Come on now.
Yeah, you
No
just
good.
took your chuck your arms in and do a little T-Rex with it right before your face?
No, that hurts my shoulder. I can't do that. I set it on the thing. I set it on the arm, and I'm like, yep, there we go. I don't have to worry about it falling down or like anything like that. So yeah.
Nice.
So yes, good stuff.
Okay. Very nice. Well.
Are you living? Is this
me?
Yeah, have you caught the death? You sound very like.
Oh my gosh. So quick, here's another fun story, and then we'll wrap up. I had to go down to West Plains last week, and
it's not fun at all.
No,
I don't know why.
That's not fun. To give a presentation on Monday morning. We're rolling out some things for the fisheries management biologists across the state, and they wanted us to come down and present it to them and tell them about it. So I said, fine. I don't know if you remember what happened on Sunday and Monday and Tuesday of last week. Sunday, we were all hanging out, and my coworker texts me and says,
icing everywhere.
He said, if we don't leave now, we're not going. And so I was like, well, I'm leaving now. So I threw my bag together.
See, that's the exact opposite of my response. My response would have been, well, I guess we're not going.
Oh.
So
that's what Megan wanted me to say, and I didn't do that. So I got in trouble later. But I was like, okay, let's go.
Megan or your boss?
Megan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was like, let's go. So I got it packed real quick, and Megan dropped me off at work at 8:45 in the morning. We weren't supposed to leave. We weren't originally planning on leaving until like 12 or 1, but the storm was like hitting. And so I got in the truck and basically fishtailed my way down south. Like I was going through Lincoln, basically sideways the entire time.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, it was bad.
Sunday, you said?
Sunday at 9 a.m.
Man.
It was bad. Like it was.
Yeah, because it didn't start down here until like Sunday. It was later because they didn't call off school until Monday morning at like 4:30.
Yeah.
So because luckily Susan is the district communications person, so they call her at 4:30 in the morning.
Nice.
I love that.
Well, I'm sure you do.
Monday was much better because they canceled school at like nighttime. It's like, okay,
perfect.
Like 8:00 at night. They're like, no, it's still bad here. Okay.
Well, yeah. So like we're going down, and it hit a lot harder and faster up here than we were expecting.
Yeah, I saw the radar. It was just like blue.
It was yeah. It was basically it was so black. It was so dark. It was black at that point.
Ew.
And I make it down to Warsaw. I pick up my coworker. We continue down, and it kind of like peers off, and it's raining a little bit just the rest of the time.
Yeah.
And the temperature's dropping behind us constantly. We get into West Plains. We didn't eat lunch because we were like, we just need to go. We must get down there.
It's fair. Don't stop.
Yeah, we didn't stop. We get down there. We go to Colton's. We're eating. Colton's loses power. The whole town loses power for a minute.
Yo,
and
really?
Yeah, like really.
Yeah.
And the power comes back on, but it's only like they said half the power. To which I responded, which half and why? And they didn't have an answer. But the city basically said we only have half power. And so the power in the city. So the power that the city had, or the power that Colton's was getting, the power that went to their exhaust fumes or hoods, those aren't working. But they use wood to make all of their food, or most of it. So all of a sudden, just huge plumes of wood smoke comes pouring out. So they have to open all the doors and windows, and it's cold outside. We were cold for 3 hours. Yeah. We get to our hotel. They also only have, quote unquote, half power. which I don't know, but like
I don't understand how that worked because I understand like the city having half power because like you have different lines come from different places because that happens
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
sometimes half the city will have power and the other half does not, but not a building. Like I don't understand how a building has half power.
the north
I'm
sockets
sorry, we're only
outlets.
getting 100 volts in here. So
The north outlets in my room had power. The south outlets did not.
what the heck? That's weird.
That's
And,
trippy.
like on the first floor, the
Flip the
north
breaker,
wing
dude. You messed up.
in the first floor, the north wing had power. The south wing did not. On the second floor, it was reversed, and then on the third floor, it was reversed again.
What the heck?
It was.
West Plains, what are you doing?
had-
What is your power grid situation?
Never seen this before. I was just like, what? Like what? It was bizarre. So
Never
we
seen that either.
we survived the night, and we start looking up the weather, and we're like, it's gonna be real. It's gonna be getting real close Monday, and so we're like,
cold
we
Monday.
may be
Oh my God.
we may be staying here Monday. We finished with our presentation. It's like 12, and we notice that there's a break in the weather, and we're like, we're going for it. So we bust out of West Plains, and we're charging north, and I'm updating the MoDOT weather app and the Traveler app, looking at road conditions, and all of a sudden I noticed that there's like this line where north of 60 is well below freezing, south of 60 is not, and 60 is just this line that was kind of holding around 30, 32.
Yeah.
We get into Seymour, and this truck passes us. It's a brand new Ford, whatever, pulling a trailer with a classic Impala on it. And they blast past us. We're like, good luck, buddy. And we come up and we go through a little bridge, and he is literally spinning in front of us.
Oh no. Ooh.
Jackknives and slides off into the ditch. And my coworker and I,
Impala.
I know, my coworker and I were like, maybe we should go back to West Plains. And we're like, no, we'll just keep going. We make it through Rogers.
Seymour.
Yeah, I know. It was just like, well. So we make it into Rogersville,
Springfield. That's why.
make it to Springfield, and we had to at that point we were like, we either need to pull over now or head north. And we're looking at the radars, and I'm like, I don't think it's gonna snow. Like, there's no snow. But what we didn't expect, and what just popped up over the course of 30 minutes. So that by the time we made the turn and started heading north in Springfield, a little band of freezing rain drizzle started, and just held with us the entire way north.
We got some of that down here. That was
we
lovely.
were constantly in it. We were crossing over Sunshine on 65, and in the right lane, there were 6 cars that had been in an accident, and we got over into the left lane, but the left lane had not been bladed at all, and we immediately lose control and narrowly miss hitting 2 cars, and we make it through that, and we're like, next hotel, we're stopping. Well, the next hotel wasn't until Buffalo.
I'm gonna say not on 65. There's none.
Because Buffalo is also where it goes from 4 lanes to 2 lanes. And we were like, so we pulled over that night. We were like, not moving another inch. Woke up the next morning and there was like freezing fog. Don't travel. And we're like, no.
Fog. What the heck?
So we barely made it back. Yeah.
Wow.
And I've been sick the whole
See
time.
now why you were in trouble by Megan. Listen, yes.
Yeah, because what turned into just like a 1 night was a 2 night and like 3 really long days. So
Yeah.
But that was fun, and
Fun is the wrong word.
it was really bad. But anyway.